So today I'm going to talk about how to handle food temptations when you're on a weight loss plan. Now, anybody who's tried to lose weight and who's tried to keep it off has handled and has addressed that problem. We've all faced it at one time or another. So the first thing I want to tell you is you're not alone. That's the first thing for sure. You are not alone. We've all faced it. Today, I want to help you become empowered because this is such a frequent, common issue that people face. And I want to mention when you have these temptations and you're looking at something sweet and gooey and that you know tastes good, it's a strong urge. So let's be honest about it. It's hard to deal with it. It's not a 2-second answer. People who say to you you don't have enough discipline or self control don't understand what urges are. You shouldn't be told it's your fault. Most of these weight loss programs tell you it's your fault. You're the one to blame. But these urges are a mixture, a connection between the mind and body. When you have a temptation, your mind, you're having an internal dialogue saying, wow, that looks really good. I want to have it. Or some variation of that, right? There's some conversation going on in your mind. That looks good. That's for me. I need that. And your stomach is even saying, I want that too. And these urges are strong. When you have those urges, you're not in your logical mind where you could talk yourself out of it, which is what self control and discipline is. You're in a strong mental, neurological, physical urge, and your body is driving you to say, yes, you need this, you need to have it. In fact, very often people will describe temptations as very fast actions, like I'm thinking about it and then I just grab it. So, what I want to do is empower you today. I want you to take the blame off of yourself and realize no one's ever taught you to handle these. But today, by the time you get to the end of this, I think you're going to feel different. I want you to feel empowered. And by the end of today, I'm going to give you an acronym, a mnemonic device with the word power, because I want you to become empowered. We're going to use the letters POWER, power, so that you will feel empowered. And the E, by the way, in power is empowered. The others are steps along the way. But first, let's talk about why people often get tempted, some of the reasons. So, one is often social gatherings, holidays, parties, birthday, anniversary parties, family parties, work events, where often there are special desserts, special treats, often sugary, fatty foods that we really don't want to eat. And we have that internal dialogue with ourselves. Well, look what's over there. I want that. Again, that's natural. It's not a matter of self discipline or self control. It's normal. You're sitting there, everybody's looking at the food. And so you shouldn't feel guilty that you're looking at the food and you're thinking about it. But usually, the internal dialogue is, should I have it or should I not have it? Should I have it or should I not have it? And I want to show you today how there are some other options. It's not a yes or no. There are other things that you can do. But I want to talk about all of the reasons why we might have temptations for these types of foods. And then we're going to talk about how to handle them. So we mentioned social gatherings, parties, holidays. That's the first, that's very common. And the second, which is also very common, especially for people who really are trying to lose weight, is when people experience sugar cravings or stress eating or emotional eating, comfort food eating, or binge eating. You're sitting and you're thinking to yourself, I need something sweet. I need something sugary. I need something with calories. I really want to have that. And then you're thinking to yourself, yes, should I have it? No, should I have it? Again, I'm going to give you some options, some steps to take. Um, other There are other habits as well. Night snacking, where people are used to sitting by the TV and just shoveling food into their mouths, or boredom eating, which is often at night when finally you've been busy all day with work or family. Finally, you're sitting and often watching TV and mindlessly throwing food in your mouth because you're finally bored. You're not active during the day. So, again, I want you to remember that you are not alone. These are common reasons and common experiences when people feel that they're tempted. And often, and usually, if you think about it, the temptations are usually high sugar, high fat food that we really want to say no to, but often we're tempted to say yes to. So I'm going to give you a bunch of strategies and solutions that can be helpful. The first thing is to take a pause for a moment. When that happens, when you're encountering that, should I have it? Should I not have it? Take some deep breaths. Don't panic. That helps you do a couple of things. A couple of deep breaths will not get in your way, and you can still think I'm making a decision. A few deep breaths gives you the opportunity, first of all, to get yourself out of that stress mode in your brain. Again, those deep urges, it's really a connection between the mind and the body, and it's a strong physical urge. You are in the stress part of the brain. You're not in the logic part of the brain, and that's often why when you say, no, I shouldn't have this, you can't outdo that because the urge is stronger and people give in to the urge. So, what you want to do is decrease the urge, is handle the urge. And one way to start handling it is simply take a few deep breaths. That helps put you in your autonomic brain instead of being in the stress part of the brain, the amygdala, the fight or flight area where you're at when you're in this great temptation. Take a few deep breaths and then think to yourself, I have other options. Sometimes when we have sugar cravings, it really is not just a craving for sugar, but it's a sign that your body is dehydrated. So instead of running for something sugary, think about having some water, some healthy fruit flavored water, some herbal tea, even some black coffee if it's not late at night, um, or some kind of drink to help you hydrate yourself. And you don't want to have something that has a lot of caffeine in it either when you want to hydrate yourself. But think of that as an option as well. Um, and there are a few different types of experiences with cravings. So if you're at a social event, you are dealing with what's in front of you. If you're home having a sugar craving and you're saying to yourself, wow, I'm having a temptation now. I want to have a piece of cake, or I want to have cookies, or I want to have that bag of chips that I unfortunately brought into the house. You can think to yourself, you know what? I have substitutes in the house that I know are just as good. And with my clients, I work with them. We have a set of really delicious substitutes that are absolutely as good as some of the things you might want. Um, and I can't deal with you individually in this video, although I am happy to talk to you individually afterwards and maybe suggest some of the snacks and treats that I recommend to my clients. But in general, you might think of a small portion of healthy fruit, of fruit or vegetable based snacks. There are so many recipes out there. I do share a lot of them with my clients, but you can actually search and find some. There are healthy nuts that are really delicious. There are healthy cocoa and chocolates that are really delicious. They are not high in fat and less sugary than the commercially prepared chocolates. So there are numerous types of substitutes that you can have ready. If and again, what you want to do is be be proactive, be planning, be precautious. You want to think in advance of how you're going to handle these if and when they happen. And again, I'm going to give you the mnemonic power, but we're going through some of these options now. Now, what if you're not home and you can't find a substitute there, and you really feel that water will not meet what you need? You really feel this urge strong. Well, I'm not going to tell you you have to suffer, you have to feel trapped, you have to watch everybody else eat, and it's just not something that people can do, and then people just feel I'm just going to have to cheat. Here's the best strategy: have a tasting portion. You don't have to have a whole piece of cake, you don't have to have a whole serving of ice cream, you don't have to have a whole bag of chips. Take the cake and take a spoonful and taste it. Have a tasting. There's really not a whole lot of damage in doing that. Break off a piece of a cookie and you will enjoy the flavor. And you don't have to have holes. You don't have to have glops of ice cream on your plate. You can have a spoonful and taste it slowly and enjoy it. And feel that you are enjoying the flavor of it without having to go afterwards and feel guilty. Now, the other thing that's often helpful and that I give my clients to work on is to respond to your urge and your conversation in your mind: should I have it or should I not have it? Is what happens if I do have it, and what happens if I don't have it? Well, think about it in advance. What happens if you do have it? Temporarily, you're going to feel happy, but afterwards, you're going to feel guilty. You're going to have to feel like you have to make up for this, and you're going to say to yourself, well, tomorrow I'm going to have to starve to make up for this, which I don't recommend people do. You're going to feel like, well, I have to start fresh again next week or tomorrow or Monday or whenever. Instead of taking a small taste and feeling that you didn't fall way off of track. So you can think about what happens if I do give in. And then think about, also, I want you to feel strong and think about, well, what happens if I don't give in? I am going to feel really proud of myself. I am going to feel that I am in control of my decisions and that I know how to pick a substitute or do something else. I can take some breaths, I can have some water, I can take some flavored water or some herbal tea. I have options in life. I'm not stuck, I'm not trapped, I'm in control. So the answer to what happens if I don't have it, you can feel really proud of yourself. And is a good response to that. For my clients, I can get more personal with them in coming up with these words. I call these word responses. And you might think of something more personal to you. I will, at the end of this, give you the opportunity to speak with me. And this is an area where you might want to get more personal than just the ones I gave you, although I think they will be very helpful. That if you think, what if I don't have it? I'll be really proud of myself. I'll know that I'm not stuck in temptation and sugar cravings and stress eating. I'll know that I'm not trapped anymore. I know that I'm in control of my decisions. I know that food doesn't control me anymore. So there are a lot of things you can say to yourself in the internal conversation. There are a lot of plans you can have to substitute if there's some temptation that comes to mind, to have something available. Another type of planning is if you're going to a party, or a work meeting or a holiday gathering, and you know there's going to be a lot of food there that will be tempting. Don't go hungry. Don't go starved. Have a healthy snack beforehand with good protein, healthy fats, not the unhealthy ones, so that you're not starved. You're going in not grabbing food because you're hungry, that you can take some tastes slowly and enjoy the social gathering as opposed to getting caught in the urges. Again, I hope a lot of these options are relevant to you. Um, I'd like you to come up with some options and feel that you are empowered with strategies and solutions, and that you're not on the fast track when you feel an urge. It's just yes or no, and you end up running and getting it because you don't feel you have control over the urge. Again, urges are really strong between the mind and the body. It's not easy to just say yes or no, but knowing you have options, knowing there's water, there are flavored fluids, um, there are healthy snacks, and there's a way of thinking to yourself, what happens if I do have this? What will happen if I don't have it? A lot of ways of thinking about it. So I want you to think again. I spoke a little bit about the word power. So I want to give you that mnemonic now. P, again, when you come into that urge, that temptation, I want you to pause, take a few deep breaths, and think about the conversation you're having. Should I have this? Shouldn't I have it? Well, it's not just a yes or no. Maybe you'll have some water or some fluid. Maybe you'll have a substitute. Maybe you'll think about, what if I do say yes? What if I say no? There are a lot of things that you can do, and sometimes just pausing and thinking it out brings you back into your logical mind. And instead of having, even if you're at the party, instead of having what you thought you have, either you could take a very small tasting or you can choose something healthier that you'll feel happier afterwards. So P is for pause. Second is for to plan in advance. Think about these urges, these temptations in advance and how you can handle them. W is for water. Remember, water is often really satisfying when we're feeling urges. We think that these urges are for sugar, but when you take some water in, it often satisfies, and you think 5 minutes later, I'm fine. And the other W word for W in power, we spoke about water, is words. Think about, I don't need this now. What are the words that you can contribute to that internal dialogue? Not just should I have it, should I not? I don't need this now. I have other options. I have other solutions. I am in control. I'm not stuck. I'm not trapped. Um, all of these things can help you feel confident and again in control of your body. So we did the POW. E is empowered. You are empowered. When you feel these urges, these sensations, these temptations, remember that you are not alone. You have some options. So, and you have solutions and strategies. And R is respond. Don't feel trapped. Don't feel that you're in a situation where it's either yes or no. You are empowered. You have solutions, strategies, confidence. You are not stuck. You are not trapped anymore in the sugar cravings. Sorry. Ugh. Somebody thinks they should. Okay, somebody is calling me. I was able to get rid of that call. So don't feel trapped. Don't feel that you are stuck in the urge. You have an exit out. You have a pathway to handle it and to feel proud of yourself. And so I want you to think about power. POWER, and how that empowers you, makes you feel you're not stuck in cravings anymore. You are not trapped. You are not out of control. You have ways of dealing with it. Now, I want to deal with another issue that I want you to think about. And one is that if you're at a party, that is a short term decision and solution. You're out of it. If you have sugar cravings or stress eating, emotional eating, comfort food, night eating, binge eating, other types of patterns, these temptations may come up time after time. And what I encourage you to do is not just to think about dealing with the temptations, but really dealing with getting yourself out of these habit loops. All of these that I mentioned are habit loops, and there are ways out of them. They are a deeper, more complicated issue, and not usually a one size fits all issue. One person will handle it differently and resolve it differently from someone else. There are really simple ways of dealing with it, but they have to be relevant for you. I would be happy, especially this is holiday time as I am mentioning this, and I would be happy to talk to a limited number of people in our group and help you deal with these issues, to get past them, to get through them. Um, and this is one of many strategies that you need for successful permanent weight loss. I recommend to my clients for weight loss that you never starve yourself, you don't go on these crazy fad diets. Really, a plan for permanent weight loss has to help you feel satisfied, eat foods that you are happy with. And what it really has to do is ignite, elevate, jumpstart your metabolism, get you out of slow metabolism and fat storing mode. That's what we need to do. And when you do that, often the sugar cravings, the stress eating, the emotional eating, the binge eating is easier to resolve. I am happy to discuss this with anybody. Um, I will put my calendar in our group, and if you get this and if you can find an appointment, if there's still an appointment available, I will be happy to meet with you. And I am doing a special this time of year. For a very limited fee, I will share my whole program on how to get rid of sugar cravings, stress eating, emotional eating, binge eating, all of those pattern eatings, habit eating, night eating. And I will meet with you twice for an incredible price that is really low to meet with me. I am Dr. Ellen, and people pay hundreds and hundreds to come to me for each appointment. I will do a $297 package. I will share video training and information personally for you, and you will meet with me twice virtually. And I will tell you all the information that I share with my clients personally. And I will treat you as a client so that we will work on that for an incredible, if you think about what you would spend if you go to Starbucks over a period of time, or buy a pair of boots or a suit or a bag, this would change your life. So I will do that with, as long as you can get an appointment within, within 2 weeks of this video. Let's say that. If there are appointments left after that, I will likely honor it. My goal is to help people get out of feeling stuck and trapped and out of control, so that you take back your freedom from food. You feel that you're in charge, not food. You feel that you're in control, not the urges and temptations. I can't wait to help you get to permanent weight loss and to feel you have a fast metabolism that's bringing you and keeping you healthy and vibrant and happy. So I remind you, come back into our group every Sunday night if you're in Facebook, and I will do a topic. If you are watching this in YouTube, make sure that you hit like, please, and make sure you subscribe so you'll continue to get all of the good advice and recommendations. Let's get you to permanent weight loss and get you out of these temptations so that you feel healthy, happy, and in control of your body.